That is why you're stuck in autopilot. That is why you feel like you're on a hamster wheel, because you're addicted to making excuses. And it may be uncomfortable to realize you're not being the couple you think you are.
Things slow down when the kids grow up, when we've retired, fill in the blank. When work isn't so demanding, then I'll have time for the relationship. These are the couples that end up getting very close to divorce or divorcing because they're constantly waiting.
You need to hear this so that you can change it. It's about hearing it and being honest and truthful so that you can make a change.
And that's it. Anything that grows in life, anything that gets better, it's because you put time and energy into it, and your relationship's no different.
So you need to start acting and behaving like that couple, the successful couple who finds reasons, who takes action, who doesn't make excuses. They literally decide and they do the thing. They take initiative. Welcome back to the Save My Marriage podcast. Today we are talking about a marriage stuck on autopilot and when couples feel like they are stuck on the hamster wheel. We have been hearing this from couples a lot lately, and I think it happens when we get to this time of year, like it's getting to the end of the year. People start to reflect and realize, oh, what have we even achieved this year? What have we even done? Maybe you're listening to this and thinking, gosh, we're in the same place we were at the start of the year. And if you are, that's a sign that your marriage and your relationship is on autopilot, and that's why you feel like you're stuck in this hamster wheel. And listening to this episode today is going to be the wake-up call that you need, okay? I'm going to bring some fire, so prepare yourself. I am an Aries, and this happens from time to time. But there are some people that listening to this episode that really need to hear this today. We see a lot of couples making excuses for why they are where they are, for why their relationship is the way they are, for why their marriage is falling apart. And they can give you excuses till the cows come home. That it's endless. And that is part of the problem. That is why you're stuck in autopilot. That is why you feel like you're on a hamster wheel, because you're addicted to making excuses. And we're going to talk about the two different types of couples that there are in the world. And we have been both of these couples before. And it was choosing to move from the couple that makes excuses to the couple that finds reasons. And that changed everything, not just for our marriage, but for our life, for the way we parent, everything. So we're going to dive into this and help you understand which couple you actually are right now. You will listen to this and you'll realize, oh, I actually identify as that couple. And it may be uncomfortable to realize you're not being the couple you think you are. But you need to hear this so that you can change it. It's not about blame and shame or judgment. It's about hearing it and being honest and truthful so that you can make a change.
Yeah. I was definitely someone who made excuses for a very, very long time. So I'm very familiar with some of these that we're going to share in a minute. This is not to shame yourself or blame yourself. It's really just to bring some more awareness so that you can make a new choice. That's the whole purpose of today's episode. So if you can relate to any of the things that we're about to point out, just take it as some feedback. Like maybe there's an opportunity here to make a new decision and try something else. So I'd love to know, what are the things that couples who make excuses, what are some of the things that they say?
Everything. They make excuses for everything, and they blame anyone and anything for why they don't have what they want or why they can't be who they want. It's honestly no wonder those people are exhausted, because they are constantly finding an excuse. And it's the opposite of the energy of action. So it often sounds like, oh, we've got kids and they've been sick, so we're exhausted and we can't do anything. Well, just this week, our daughter has been sick, really sick, and she's been off school, and we've still had loads to get done. We've still been recording podcasts. We've still been supporting clients whilst looking after her. We don't have any family support here. We could make excuses, but we don't, because we don't identify as a couple that makes excuses. We identify as a couple that finds reasons. So there's that excuse of children. So they blame their kids for why they are the way they are or why they can't do things. Or they blame the season of life they're in. I'm in a busy season at work. It's really demanding. So I have to neglect my relationship. Well, no, you don't. There's plenty of CEOs in the world who have amazing relationships. I loved that post that was going around for a few years the old CEO of Netflix.
Yep.
And he shared, like, I'm a CEO of Netflix. I don't think he is anymore, but he he finished work the same time every Tuesday to go and date his wife. And everyone in the company knew, do not speak to me at this time or don't even call me or anything, because I won't answer.
Yep.
Because I have a commitment to make.
That.
And he made it every single week, because it's important. And that's the thing. People who take responsibility, people who find reasons, they make time for what is important for them. They don't make excuses to justify why they don't. Yeah, the list is so long. They say things like, it's not the right time, I don't feel ready. Well, you never feel ready. That is just a lie. Being ready is not a feeling, it's an action. So you decide, and then, wow, I feel ready. I just decided I'm going to do the thing. All of a sudden I feel ready. Well, yeah, no surprises. You made a decision. Readiness follows a decision. It doesn't come before the decision. People who make excuses believe that lie.
I think the other one I hear all the time is that we're just in a busy season right now and it will pass.
Yeah, that's an excuse.
When things slow down, when the kids grow up, when we've retired, fill in the blank. When work isn't so demanding, then I'll have time for the relationship. These are the couples that end up getting very close to divorce or divorcing because they're constantly waiting, and things don't slow down. Things don't get easier. If you look back on your life, when have things magically just got easier and things just worked out for you? It doesn't really work that way. You just make a decision as to where you want to put your time and energy, and that's it. Anything that grows in life, anything that gets better, it's because you put time and energy into it, and your relationship's no different. That's
another trait of couples who make excuses. Yeah. They believe things should be easier. And we were talking about this morning. Why do you believe that? Where did that come from? When in your childhood did someone say to you, everything should be easy for you? Said no one ever. Life is hard for every single human being, and it's meant to be. I don't wake up every day expecting life to be easy. That sounds absolutely ridiculous to me. I didn't have children expecting it to be easy. Yeah. That is crazy. No one has a child because it's convenient. People are just not being honest with themselves, and I think they are a bit too entitled and just expecting that things should be a certain way for them. Why do you think it should be easy for you? It's not easy for anybody. The difference between you and someone else is they don't make excuses. They find reason, and that's why they have what they have. It's not about they're more deserving or worthy, but they're definitely more resourced.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about the couple who finds reasons to do things differently. If you're listening to this and you can relate to some of those things we shared just before, then this might help you to see that there is another way to think about your relationship and to think about prioritizing, that the thing which we believe is the foundation of your life, that brings all the joy, all the fulfillment, the thing that you're going to reflect on at the end of your life, and really either you're going to have so many happy memories or you're going to have a lot of pain in this area.
Yeah.
And this is the opportunity to think about a different way of looking at things. So what are some of those examples?
Well, couples who find reasons, they literally, whatever you make as an excuse, they turn it into a reason. So I'm tired and exhausted, so I can't connect with my partner. That's what someone who makes an excuse will say. Whereas the same person who finds reasons will say, I'm tired and exhausted, but I'm not going to let that steal my connection with my partner. I'm going to use it as a reason as to why I need to connect with them today. Because I know that if I do connect with them, I'm going to feel more energized. I'm going to feel better. So anything that you make an excuse, the person who finds reasons, they literally just think of it differently to you. They don't use their kids as an excuse. They use them as a reason. I have kids. That is why I have to date my partner every single week, because my children are looking to me for an example of love, relationships, and marriage.
Yeah.
They are my reason. My kids are not my excuse. If they're busy at work, they don't use work as an excuse to treat their partner like crap. They just don't tolerate that. They have higher standards. They say things to themselves like, yeah, work is busy right now, but staying connected to my wife or my husband is what gives me the energy to actually do the work that I'm here to do. Or they say things like, I am working for my family, but I'm not going to use them as an excuse because they're a reason. I will make sure that I'm showing them they're important to me. So they will either schedule, dates or family time, and it will be in their calendar. So they don't make excuses. Anything that you use as an excuse, they literally use it as a reason. They just flip it. And that's why they're so resourceful. That's why they get everything they want. That's why they're happier, more connected, all those things, because they have leadership qualities. And some people listening to this will think they're a leader, but you might need to be reminded as to what a leader actually is, because a leader takes responsibility. A leader does not make excuses. You cannot make excuses and take responsibility at the same time.
Yep.
It doesn't work like that. So you have to decide, who are you? Leaders take initiative. They don't wait for the perfect time. They create the moment. Leaders they take inspired action. So they don't wait until they're motivated. They just take action and then they get inspired. They have very different qualities, a leader. Leaders go first. They don't wait for their partner to change first.
Yep.
They don't wait for the perfect conditions, for everything to be easy. That's not what a leader does. A leader actually rises during hard times. They don't crumble and fall and give up. That's not what a leader does. A leader takes consistent action, even when it's hard, not just when it's easy.
Yeah.
There's all these qualities of leadership that I think both men and women have lost. They've completely lost, and they've completely forgotten what it actually means to embody and take action as a leader, in every area of your life, including your relationship.
Yeah. And so if you're listening to this right now and some of this is hitting home, you've already shown some of those qualities by listening to this. You're taking some action by listening. The next step is action. It's like, okay, well, I know that our relationship's not where I want it to be. If you're listening to our podcast, my guess is it's not where you want it to be, and it could be better. So the next step is, okay, I'm now aware of that. What's the next step I can take to actually put this into action? What's the thing that I can change? Can I change my priorities? Could we spend some more time together? Could we do the 5-minute coffee check-in, which is one of our practices?
Yeah, and we've included some questions. I think if you are listening to this episode, you need to ask yourself these questions. You need to get radically honest. So,
absolutely.
Like we said, if you want to be a leader, it requires that you have self-responsibility, that you take ownership, that you don't blame and complain, you actually take action.
Yep.
You have integrity, so you live in alignment with your values. You don't just say, I'm a leader, you actually embody that every single day.
Or saying that my relationship is the most important area of my life, but you spend less than an hour a week with your partner.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time spent at work. We hear that quite a lot as well.
Yeah, definitely. You're not who you say you are. You are your actions.
Yeah.
You are your behaviors. So if you're good at just, saying a lot of stuff, but you're not being it, then you're not in integrity with who you are. You're not a leader. And that's hard to hear, but you've got to be honest with yourself. Your actions and your behaviors show who you are. And it's not just when everyone's watching. I know a lot of people listening show up as their best version of themselves at work, but what I care about is who you are at home. And this is what we care about. Who am I in the home? Who am I with my husband? Who am I with my children? That's actually what matters more than anything, because that's who you really are. When no one is watching, that's who you really are. And for some of you, you're feeling really called out right now, and you're realizing, wow, I bring my leftovers home. I bring absolute scraps home. I'm the worst version of myself. I'm super complacent and comfy at home. And as a result, you're probably not being a leader. You're probably not making decisions. You're probably procrastinating. You're probably avoiding. You're probably blaming everyone else. And as a result, your relationship will likely not be in a good place. And that's not a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive into these questions then, so we can help people start to see what they need to see to reflect. So what are those questions that couples need to, or anyone listening needs to ask themselves and answer?
Well, you need to identify first, which couple are you? Because a lot of couples say they want change, but they're not willing to actually make the decision to change. That's really important. So you need to know which couple are you. You then need to think about, okay, where in our relationship have we been making excuses instead of taking responsibility? And I want you to write it all down. And when you really see it on paper, something changes in you. It's different when you just keep repeating it in your head. You're not really seeing it. When you write it on paper, I'm telling you, you take responsibility. Adam did this like 8 years ago now, where, you know, he was making excuses for why he was where he was. And I just said to him, okay, we'll take the feedback from your life. Write down all of the things in your life that are going well, that you're happy with and that you're proud of, and write down all the things that are not going well. And it was a long list. You had to take a lot of feedback. But once you saw it on paper, you were like, oh, okay, yeah, it's not just like her. It's not that she wants too much or she's expecting too much. It's that I'm making excuses. I'm not actually taking responsibility. It's not her fault. Like the common denominator is me.
Totally. Question 2.
What stories have we been telling ourselves that keep us stuck? Because you are telling yourself a story like I can't do this because I have kids, or I can't do this because
he's not open to growth. She's not open to growth. He's not willing to do it.
It's just a story. You need to just cut that, take responsibility. Remember, you're a leader. What would a leader do? They definitely wouldn't just tell that story and blame others and make an excuse. They would find a reason. They would flip that excuse and make it a reason.
Question 3.
What would change if we stopped waiting for the right time and just chose to take action now? And then if you were fully committed to the relationship that you say you want, what would you stop tolerating in yourself and each other? Because when you make excuses, you drop your standards so low. You start comparing yourself to the worst case scenario, the worst person in the world to make yourself feel better. That is not a good idea. You do not want to compare yourself to the worst so you feel better. You need to be honest with yourself about where you're at, and you need to look at what are you tolerating in yourself and in your relationship that is such a low standard. And if you had children, would you be okay with them accepting that standard? And if that makes you uncomfortable, then you need to change that, because it's not just about you, it's about them. Your children will accept and tolerate the standards that you show them are normal. And so, you know, if you're doing things that are, you know, of a very low standard with yourself and in your marriage, you need to take responsibility for that and you need to change it.
Absolutely.
And then finally, what's the cost of avoiding responsibility for me, for our relationship, for our family and our future? So there is a massive cost avoiding taking responsibility. Some people think taking responsibility means it's your fault. That is absolutely not what taking responsibility means. And if you're a leader, you know that. Taking responsibility is your ability to respond to your life. And if you're making excuses and blaming everyone, you're not resourced. You can't respond to your life. You just react to it. And that's why you don't get what you want. And that's why your relationship is not where you want it to be. So you need to really look at the cost of like what you're missing out on, what you're losing, the hurt and the negative impact it's having on your marriage, your kids, your family, you know, because it's a big cost. And if you are the couple that makes excuses, you will never reach your potential. You cannot reach your potential making excuses. I mean, think of any athlete or anyone who's ever achieved anything in their life. It's not their excuses that get them to meet their potential, is it? They don't make excuses, full stop. They literally just take action, find reasons, they take initiative, they don't complain, they take responsibility and they get it done. And that's why they reach their potential. So yeah, it's not easy reaching your potential. I mean, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like that you think reaching your full potential would be easy. Like really? It just like even saying that out loud, it's just actually laughable. Reaching your full potential in any area of your life, business, marriage, health, fitness, anything is going to take some hard work. But that's the reward for the result. You know,
absolutely, because you're reinventing yourself through the process.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, which is why we call it recreate your relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
And so if you've listened to this and some of this has stirred something in you, maybe it's triggered you a little bit. Sorry, not sorry. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Because we know that helps you to get to the next level of your relationship. That is our job, and we love that. We love helping couples reach another level of potential of love in their relationship and let go of some of these old patterns which are keeping you stuck.
Yeah, and if you don't get what you want by settling and tolerating, guys. Like I can't even believe I have to say that, but you do not get what you want by settling, tolerating, blaming, or making excuses. None of those are qualities or skills of successful people in any area of their life. And you know this. You're smart people. You know leadership qualities. You know what is required for success in every other area of your life. So you need to start acting and behaving like that couple, the successful couple who finds reasons, who takes action, who doesn't make excuses. They literally decide and they do the thing. They take initiative. It's really the opposite of what so many people are doing.
Yeah, it is. So if you guys have loved this, if you want help to actually make this happen, if you want to make this shift and be one of the couples, the rare few who actually do something about it, one of the ones who doesn't make excuses, you want to become one of the ones who finds reasons, then you should come and join us for our Recreate Your Relationship Vision workshop. We're running a 90-minute workshop on Saturday, the 13th of December. It's a one-off event. We're not doing it again. It's our last event for the year.
Yep.
It's the first time we've ever done this event, actually, and we're actually bringing our clients along to this workshop. It actually is a client workshop.
We usually only share it with our clients.
Yeah, it's usually only for clients, and we're actually going to invite a few guests. So if you're listening and this sounds interesting, if you'd love to create a vision for your relationship for 2026 and actually go into the new year with a plan on what you're creating together, your joint goals, your joint values, the kind of relationship you want to build together, we're going to guide you through that process. We've helped thousands of couples through it. It's really life-changing, and you're going to see exactly how we do it. In just 90 minutes, you're going to walk away with that plan for your relationship. So we'll drop that link in the show notes. You can get a ticket there. It's only $97 to join, but you're going to get all those resources included, and you'll have a plan for the new year.
Yeah, you
won't be going into the new year flying blind. You'll actually know what you're creating and how to do it.
Yeah, you'll have a reason to rise. And that is what couples who have reasons do. They have a plan. They have a shared vision and they rise together. It's not surprising. They definitely don't fumble and wait until opportunities arise or see what's going to happen. No successful couple ever says that.
No.
So we would love to see you there. Yep. And if you have loved this episode, please give us a review. Please share it with someone you know, and we'll see you in the next episode.